Elizabeth Langhorne Louise. Elizabeth Dabney Langhorne Louise, 9 December 1851, 30 January 1946, was the founder of the Lynchburg Equal Suffrage League and vice president of the Equal Suffrage League of Virginia. She was also one of the founders of the Virginia League of Women Voters. Early life. Elizabeth Dabney Langhorne was born in 1851 in Botetourt County, Virginia. As a child, she lived in Lynchburg. She went to private schools in Lynchburg and Charlottesville. As a young woman, she taught in a number of schools in the Lynchburg area. In August 1873, she married John Henry Louise. He was a Civil War veteran and an attorney. Louise was elected president of the Lynchburg Women's Club twice. She was an accomplished pianist and was active in the Lynchburg artistic community. Suffrage Activity. Louise was the founder and president of the Lynchburg Equal Suffrage League. The group, founded in October 1910, created petitions in support of women's suffrage addressed to the Virginia General Assembly and gave presentations to local groups. The group also published the Lynchburg Woman's Suffrage News in April 1917, printing 5,000 copies. In December 1911, Louise was elected vice president of the Equal Suffrage League of Virginia and served in that role until the league dissolved after the passage of the 19th Amendment. In March 1913, Louise helped to carry Virginia's banner in the woman suffrage procession in Washington, D.C., the first large organized march on Washington for political purposes. In October 1913, the annual meeting of the Equal Suffrage League of Virginia was organized by the Lynchburg Equal Suffrage League. Louise wrote an article for Virginia Suffrage News, published in November 1914. In it, she wrote that the woman's qualification for citizenship is as valid as the man's, that her identity of interest, her intelligence, her morality, her patriotism, and her proven efficiency entitled women to all the rights and responsibilities of citizenship for which equal suffrage is an indispensable element. Louise presented numerous speeches about suffrage in Southern Virginia in 1915 and 1916, organizing a number of suffrage leagues in the cities where she spoke. During this time, the league was undergoing rapid growth. In 1914, the Equal Suffrage League of Virginia had 45 local chapters. In 1916, there were 115 chapters. In 1915, she represented Leila Valentine at a national suffrage convention. In 1916, Louise and her daughter Elizabeth Otis helped to persuade the Virginia Republican Party State Convention to endorse women's suffrage. On 2 October 1916, she debated Congressman Henry de Langhorne Flood in Appomattox County. Flood was against extending the vote to women and was an influential voice within the Virginia Democratic Party. After Virginia declined to pass a state-level suffrage amendment in 1916, Louise focused on lobbying Virginia's congressional delegation in support of a federal constitutional amendment known as the Susan B. Anthony Amendment. She picketed the White House in 1917, accompanied by her daughter Elizabeth Otis. The group's banner read, "Kaiser Wilson, have you forgotten your sympathy with the poor Germans because they were not self-governed? 20 million American women are not self-governed. Take the beam out of your own eye." It was snatched away as the march began. In the spring of 1918, her cousin Leila Valentine, the president of the Equal Suffrage League of Virginia, had a serious operation. Louise took over the running of the league. League of Women Voters. The Equal Suffrage League of Virginia disbanded on November 8, 1920, and the Virginia League of Women Voters was organized 2 days later at the state capitol. Louise was elected to the first board of directors. In 1926-27, she was president of the state league. She was president of the Lynchburg chapter of the league for more than a decade after it was formed in 1920. Death. Louise died in Lynchburg on 30 January 1946. She was 94 years old. Her remains were buried next to those of her husband. References equals